Putting together your SBA underwriting package can seem overwhelming, especially if it's your first time. Hey, I'm Ray Drew, an actual SBA lender, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about some common mistakes I see small business owners making when they're putting together their SBA underwriting package, some of which can completely derail your loan. And at the end of the video, I'm going to reveal the one thing outside of that loan package that can get your SBA loan declined by the bank. Now, just to be clear, the SBA underwriting package is what is needed to submit the loan to underwriting, where it will be written up, analyzed, and submitted for final approval. It's going to consist of tax returns, financials, and a pretty lengthy list of other documents depending on the transaction. One document that is often messed up is the SBA 413 form, or the personal financial statement. This is a snapshot of your personal assets and liabilities, personal being the key word there. You're not going to list business assets and liabilities on this form. Those will show up on the balance sheet. Another standard SBA form is the 1919 form. On this form, you'll disclose some basic information and answer a bunch of yes or no questions. There's really only way to mess this one up, and that's to intentionally lie. For example, one of the questions is going to ask you, have you ever declared bankruptcy? Even if it's 30 years ago and you think it's been discharged, the answer is still yes. That doesn't disqualify you from getting an SBA loan, but not being truthful on the form will. So be 100% transparent here. You'll also be asked to submit financial projections for the business, typically 2 years worth. The key here is just to provide realistic projections with solid assumptions. If you go too conservative and provide worst case numbers, the cash flow may be too tight. And knowing the underwriters, they're going to also discount those projections. And before you know it, you have no cash flow available to service the debt. On the other hand, if you provide crazy moonshot projections, the underwriter's just going to think you're nuts and they're going to decline your loan for that reason. So I always say just provide realistic projections and provide the assumptions that show how you got to those numbers, and you'll be fine. A business plan will also be required. Now, if you already have an existing business or you're buying an existing business, the lender's not looking for a full-scale 30-page business plan, but if it's a startup or a major expansion, they might. Either way, your business plan should make sense and tell the story. What you want to avoid is sending the underwriter down a rabbit hole, or worse, scaring them away. Keep it simple and focus on your immediate plans for the business. Okay, in the beginning of the video, I promised I would reveal the one thing outside of the loan package that can get your loan declined, and that is you. Most lenders require the underwriter to speak with the applicant at least once, and 9 out of 10 times, that call goes fine. But I've also seen it go south and lead to a decline. And one of the main reasons for this is the applicant doesn't know their stuff. And this is more common when they're using a third-party service to put together the package, particularly the business plan and projections, because if they ask you a basic question about your business plan or your projections and you can't answer it, that's going to look really bad, and they're going to question if you even know what you're doing here. Now, if they ask you a really specific question about a tax return from 2 years ago or something on the seller's financials, it's perfectly fine to say, you know what, let me check with my accountant, let me check with the seller, and I'll get back to you, versus BSing your way through that conversation. Don't overthink it, and just don't say anything stupid. That's my best advice. So there you have it. If you found that video helpful and you want more insider tips from an actual SBA lender, go ahead and click that subscribe button, because I've got plenty more where that came from.